What if I told you that sometimes greatness isn't loud, flashy, or explosive, but patient, disciplined, and carved out of granite? What if the difference between brilliance and victory isn't speed, but will? On a charged night under the neon lights of Las Vegas, inside the electric atmosphere of the Palms, two warriors stepped into the ring with everything on the line. One was the slick, explosive Southpaw from Brooklyn, Zab Judah, a former world champion known for blinding hand speed and fast starts. The other was the pride of Accra, Ghana, the iron-willed high-guard technician Joshua Clottey, a man who believed that pressure, patience, and precision would silence speed. This wasn't just another title fight. This was a collision of styles, mentalities, and destinies, with the vacant IBF Welterweight Championship hanging in the balance. From the opening bell, Judah made his intentions clear. He came out sharp, light on his feet, pumping the jab, not pawing with it but snapping it with authority. He doubled it, tripled it. He wasn't waiting to counter, he was dictating. His right jab stabbed forward like a spear, trying to disrupt Clottey's rhythm before it could ever form. The early rounds had the familiar look of a classic Judah performance. Fast hands, confident movement, and the swagger of a man who had been on the biggest stages before. He circled, he fired, he slipped away. And for a moment, it looked like speed might once again write the story. But Joshua Clottey did not come to chase shadows. He came with a plan rooted in discipline. His guard was tight, elbows tucked, gloves high, chin buried behind a wall of patience. He absorbed Judah's early rhythm without panic. He studied. He waited. He edged forward inch by inch, cutting off the ring rather than running after his opponent. Then came the first reminder that this would not be easy for the Brooklyn Southpaw, a straight right hand that snapped Judah's head back. Not flashy, not wild, just precise. Then another. And an uppercut threaded through the guard. The message was clear. You can be fast, but you still have to survive the return fire. Clottey's strength became more visible as the rounds unfolded. When Judah stepped in, Clottey met him with compact counters, short right hands, digging hooks to the body, sneaky uppercuts inside. Judah would land first, but Clottey often landed harder. The Ghanaian strategy was becoming evident. Block, absorb, respond. Defense then offense. He wasn't wasting energy. He was investing it. And slowly the tide began to shift. By the middle rounds, the ring no longer looked as wide. Judah's legs were still active, but Clottey was staking out the center, forcing exchanges. Every time Judah lingered a half second too long, a straight right hand split the air. Clottey's punches carried weight, thudding heavy shots that left marks. Judah's mouth began to open slightly as he worked, a subtle sign of the physical toll. And yet, to his credit, he did not fold. He answered back with sharp combinations, digging to the body, trying to keep Clottey honest. The chess match intensified. Judah adjusted, moving in quick bursts, firing combinations, then pivoting out before Clottey could fully set his feet. It was smart. It was necessary. For a stretch, he won rounds with activity and ring generalship. But every exchange carried risk. Clottey's right hand continued to find the mark, especially when Judah's feet drifted too close together. The Ghanaian fighter's discipline was relentless. No wasted motion. No emotional overreach. Just steady pressure and calculated counters. As the fight moved deeper, the physicality became undeniable. Blood appeared near Judah's right eye. What initially seemed like an accidental clash of heads was later revealed, through replay, to be the result of a sharp left hand that had opened the skin. The cut changed everything. It added urgency. It forced clarity. Every punch now mattered even more. Still, Judah showed heart. Tremendous heart. He dug down and produced flashes of brilliance. A crisp left uppercut on the inside that momentarily stunned Clottey. Quick combinations that reminded everyone why he had once been considered one of the most gifted fighters of his era. But Clottey never broke form. He never abandoned structure. He never chased recklessly. He absorbed, responded, and kept walking forward. Round after round, the story became one of contrast. Speed versus structure, flash versus foundation. Judah had moments. Clottey had consistency. And in championship boxing, consistency often whispers louder than brilliance. Then came the turning point. In the 9th round, with the cut worsening and blood flowing, the referee consulted ringside officials. The bout was halted due to the severity of the injury. Because the fight had progressed beyond the 4th round, it would go to the scorecards. The arena buzzed with tension. Had Judah's early speed banked enough rounds? Or had Clottey's heavier, more authoritative punches secured the edge? The decision came back unanimous. Joshua Clottey, the hitter from Accra, Ghana, was declared the winner and crowned the new IBF Welterweight Champion of the world. It was not a victory built on spectacle. It was built on patience, on durability, on the belief that fundamentals, when executed with discipline, can neutralize even the most explosive talent. Clottey proved that night that he was more than just a puncher. He was a craftsman, a thinker, a fighter who understood that championships are not just won with speed, but with structure. And as for Zab Judah, he showed courage, resilience, and moments of brilliance that reminded fans why his name still carried weight. But boxing is unforgiving. It rewards not just talent but consistency under fire. This fight wasn't just about a belt. It was about identity. About whether a disciplined guard could withstand a storm of speed. About whether patience could outlast flash. And on that night in Las Vegas, patience prevailed. If you felt the intensity of this battle, if you respect warriors who leave everything inside the ropes, then make sure you hit that like button right now. It helps more boxing stories like this reach true fight fans around the world. And if you believe discipline beats talent when talent doesn't stay disciplined, drop your thoughts in the comments below. Who do you think truly controlled the fight? As we close this chapter, remember this. In boxing as in life, the loudest moments aren't always the most meaningful. Sometimes greatness is quiet, guard high, eyes focused, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. For more legendary fight breakdowns, untold boxing stories, and championship drama, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a battle. Share this with a fellow fight fan, and let's keep the spirit of the ring alive. The celebration inside the ring was loud, emotional, and long overdue. As the referee lifted his hand, Joshua Clottey did not jump wildly or pound his chest in arrogance. Instead, he exhaled. It was the kind of breath a man releases after carrying years of doubt on his shoulders. The IBF Welterweight Championship now rested around his waist, but what it truly represented was validation. For years he had been labeled strong but not spectacular, durable but not dynamic. On this night, he proved that discipline could defeat flash, and that structure could silence speed. Across the ring stood Zab Judah, his right eye swollen, traces of blood still visible. There was frustration in his expression, but not disbelief. He knew this had been a razor-close, physically demanding fight. He had started fast just as he promised. He had used the jab with authority, fired combinations, and shown glimpses of brilliance that once made him one of the most feared fighters in the division. But boxing is not scored on potential. It is scored on execution. As the ring slowly began to clear, commentators reflected on what they had witnessed. The early rounds belonged largely to Judah's rhythm and movement. He controlled distance, disrupted timing, and scored cleanly. Yet as the fight progressed, Clottey's heavier shots began to tell the story. His straight right hand repeatedly cut through Judah's southpaw stance. His uppercuts inside were compact and punishing. And perhaps most importantly, he never allowed frustration to alter his plan. Back in his corner, Clottey's team embraced him tightly. For Ghana, this was more than a personal victory, it was national pride. Accra had produced a champion once more. The journey from local gyms to world titles is never simple. It is built on early morning road work, on sparring sessions where no cameras are present, on sacrifices invisible to the public eye. That belt symbolized every mile run in silence. Meanwhile, Judah sat quietly on his stool for a moment longer than usual before rising. He had shown heart. He had traded in close. He had absorbed punishing counters and continued firing back. There were flashes, particularly that sharp left uppercut in the middle rounds, that reminded everyone of his elite skill level. But there were also moments when Clottey's pressure forced him backward, when the heavier shots subtly shifted momentum. What made this fight compelling was not dominance, it was contrast. Judah's speed against Clottey's structure. Movement versus strength. Improvisation versus discipline. It was a study in styles, and on this night, the more methodical blueprint edged ahead. In the post-fight interviews, Clottey spoke calmly. He credited preparation. He mentioned studying Judah's tendency to throw wide when excited. He explained how his straight punches were designed to exploit openings created by Judah's stance. There was no boastfulness, only quiet confidence. He had executed exactly what he trained for. Judah, to his credit, did not make excuses. He acknowledged the difficulty of facing a physically imposing, technically sound opponent who refused to break under pressure. He mentioned the cut but did not blame it entirely. Fighters understand something the public sometimes forgets. Every round tells a story and small details decide championships. And here's the deeper lesson from that night. Boxing is not only about talent. It is about temperament. Clottey remained emotionally neutral, never rushing, never overcommitting. Judah, explosive and electric, had moments of brilliance. But brilliance must be sustained against pressure to secure victory. For fans watching around the world, it was a reminder of why the welterweight division has always been one of boxing's most dramatic landscapes. One punch can change a fight. One cut can alter momentum. One disciplined game plan can overcome perceived disadvantages. But the story did not end with the final bell. The championship changes everything. It reshapes rankings, creates new rivalries, and opens doors to bigger stages. With the IBF title now secured, Clottey's name entered conversations alongside the division's elite. The questions immediately followed. Who would he face next? Could his disciplined, high-guard style neutralize other top contenders? Would his patience continue to outmaneuver speed? For Judah, the loss did not erase his legacy, but it added another chapter to a career defined by immense talent and fierce competition. Fighters like him never fade quietly. They adjust. They return. They search for redemption. And if this breakdown gave you deeper insight into what truly decided this battle, now's the time to show your support. Hit that like button so more boxing fans can discover this story. Drop a comment below. Do you think speed should have won the night, or did discipline clearly take it? And if you're passionate about legendary fights, rivalries, and championship moments, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the next breakdown. Because in boxing, every fight leaves a lesson. And the warriors who step into that ring leave pieces of themselves behind, so we can witness history.